Alright, y'all, I'm gonna get right to it. Zeezzy the King. Like and subscribe. Add me on Facebook, Zach King. You seen the thumbnail. Spoilers for the entire series and franchise. This is not a review, plot beating boom throughout every season. It's just a retrospective of the franchise, my near and dear love for it. And I'm going to just say a few notes on how the final season ended and how all the loose ends got tied up and how I feel about the entire franchise. First off, hold on real quick. This is the original. I don't know if you can see it clearly. The original OG Chronicles of the Walking Dead. They used to make I don't know, I ain't big with comic books like Marvel and DC, but I was big with this. I gotta give it, this ain't finna be about, like I said, plots, beats, budget, box office. It's a TV show. I gotta give credit to Robert Kirkman. He's the comic book creator of Walking Dead. Frank Darabont, who created The Mist and a couple other movies. Green Mile. You know Frank Darabont work. He had a lawsuit with them. He won. I ain't finna touch none of that. Angela Kang, Scott Gimple, Andrew Lincoln, Norma Reedus, McBride, who is the Carol character, Daniel Gloutier, which is Michonne, Lauren Cohen, that's Maggie, like the entire cast, past, present, the cast members who died, everybody, Steve Yee, which is Glenn, Abraham, everybody, you know what I'm saying, Dale from season 1 and 2 on the farm, Herschel, Father Gabriel. I'm talking about the Green family with Maggie and her sister. What's her sister's name? I'm tripping right now. Whatever. But basically, this franchise is a brilliant franchise. It started in 2010, and then what's crazy, it was on Halloween of 2010. Now I'm gonna be honest, this is a small story time. If you've seen my Walking Dead villains and story, I did a Walking Dead top 10 villains a year ago. Go check that video out. Like I said then, Walking Dead, I'm not big with comics. I just happened to come across that particular comic, and that's how I got into it. But I wasn't, a huge Walking Dead fan. I didn't know nothing about it. I came across it on a humbug, and this is how I know it was meant to be for me personally. I told this story before, but I'm gonna tell it again. I was channel surfing basically on a Saturday, not having nothing to watch. Wife and kids was out, and at this point, I only had 1 or 2 kids. I got 5 now. They was out shopping, baby clothes, that type of shit. I'm on a couch chilling, channel surfing. I come across The Walking Dead, season 1, episode 1. What make it godly to me is, every year they do this Walking Dead. When the new season or new season finna start, premiere or whatever, they show a marathon of every episode leading up into that. Now they don't show one when it got to season 6. They weren't showing all season 1 through 6. It'd be probably all of season 5 leading into 6 or whatever it might be. You know what I'm saying? You get it, you get it. This particular day, it was only 1 season complete, which was, I think, 10 episodes, maybe 6, which they should have kept it at instead of 16 and prolonging it. My point is, I caught the show season 1, episode 1, right as it's coming on. So as I'm channel surfing, I can't find nothing. I'm trying to find something to smoke. I find it, watch it. I'm not paying attention to the bottom of the screen that's saying Walking Dead season 2 premieres tomorrow, which would be Sunday. I'm not paying attention to none of that. I'm high, I'm trying to smoke, I'm trying to catch a vibe. All the Saturday football college games or blowouts, nothing else on. So I'm just diving into the show. Remind you, I'm thinking this is a movie. So as I'm watching it, it's good as hell. Then when it goes off, when Glenn yells at Rick, "Hey dumbass," in the tank, I realized, oh shit, it's a TV show. I watched the whole season that day. I binged season 1 into season 2. That's how I became a diehard instantly. It wasn't like somebody said, watch this, it's great, or I heard about it, or it was a trend by season 4. It was a fad where niggas was coming out with movies like this. Z Nation, Black Summer. People just start swagger jacking, even though they ain't the originators of zombies. They brought it to a level George A. Romero never even brought it to, in my opinion. So as I watched season 2, The Farm, to be honest, was people's least favorite season, but it had some character development and tense moments that I was all for. So I enjoyed it because it was my first full season. I watched every episode. And man, like I said, I'm not finna go through every particular seasons. All I can say is the first 6.5 seasons are all, to me, great. I'm not finna overdo it or like overhype it because it's ending. I'm not gonna give rankings or nothing like that for each season. Unless y'all want that, I will rank every season worst to first, all 11. But basically, this is a franchise to me where every character death mattered, every character development, every moment, every situation. It made you take, if you was a Walking Dead fan, you took this conversation outside the community of Walking Dead fans. Meaning, I got cousins who don't give a damn about this show. They only know about it because of me. They didn't care about the phase and the craze of the zombies and all the Z Nation show. They didn't care about none of that shit. So when I talk about, I break it down in a hood fashion. Like, what if you was like the Negan situation from season 7 when he lined everybody up with the baseball bat? Who gonna get Lucille? And tell Rick, if you don't cut Carl's arm off, everybody die. I break certain situations like that down to them. They like, whoa, they doing that? Or I think season 6 when the claimers, you know what I'm saying, they creep up on Rick, Michonne, and Carl and finna do some ungodly things to them. And Rick bites the neck out. Like, when I tell them kind of scenes, those are the most iconics. Or the red machete to Gareth, the cannibals. When I tell them kind of scenes, they like, whoa, I need to watch it. But overall, they don't. But this is for the people who do watch it. I'm telling you. The thing about zombies, what I like most, I like Walking Dead, George A. Romero zombies. Slow but vicious if they hoarding or enough of them around. Z Nation zombies, to me, and like 28 Days Later and them vampiric type zombies, I don't like because, for one, they automatically are superhuman with strength. I don't like my zombies to be superhuman. Even though these walkers cut through, you know what I'm saying, bone and cartilage and ribs and muscle with their bare hands, which is fake. I mean, the World War Z, they fast, they can jump like a I Am Legend Will Smith. Them kind of zombie, vampiric, they too strong to make it more realistic how they took over the world and the world went to shit, but it also it take me out because it's too much to kill them. I like a million slow drifting walkers better, and I don't even call them zombies no more. I call them walkers because Walking Dead, even though the majority of the population still call them zombies, and I do too sometimes. Like this, I call them the zombies from Walking Dead or whatever. But I'm talking about characters now. I'm gonna break it into small topics. But when you think about Rick, he up there to me with any final, you know what I'm saying, boss from a show that you can think of, the main protagonist. I'm talking about Walter White. I'm talking about, if you want to say Marlowe or Stringer Bell or Omar or Jesse Pinkman or Gustavo Frame. Anybody from the Sopranos, Tony Soprano, Big Pussy, anybody you can think of from any show, I put Rick up there with them. His character development, his growth, you know what I'm saying, how he was in a coma, coming out, killing Shane, developing into a villain in a sense. Like, this show never showed you, like, obviously it was a root for our group, which is the survivors, but it never had a moral conscience where it's like, he right, you gotta believe him, you gotta be on his side. It gets moments in the show where it's a thing called Ricktatorship from, I think, season 2 finale to like mid-season 3, where he a dictator, you know what I'm saying, not only a dictator, but a dick. He telling the group, conjugating and agreeing on this. It's gonna be my decision or the highway. So the development with Rick ain't just the final boy and protagonist root for him. He have a bunch of questionable things about him that you don't agree with. The famous Joker meme where he like, you want to kick me out in Alexandria, where I'm looking like, this nigga done went off the deep end. So that's my point. The show been around so long that the characters develop. When you think about a Carol, a housewife who's abused from blowing up Terminus in season 6. You know what I'm saying? Killing a group of Negan's saviors when she was trying to repent and not kill. Killing motherfuckers she had a Draco through the jacket, killed like 8 niggas. Like, that wouldn't have been Carol from season 1 and 2. When they took over the prison in season 3, she could barely shoot. She's shooting at zombies, damn near hitting Rick. Compared to Draco with the switch, out her jacket without showing no emotion, gunning down 8 people. Like, the character development is A+, top tier with every character. Daryl Dixon, to me, I ain't big on Daryl like the franchise is and the Stan girls. Daryl was a cool ass dude when he get his Call of Duty guns. He get the blow the tank up moments, his nonsense crossbow. Daryl a bad nigga, no doubt. But Daryl to me is better off as the right-hand man. He led the last 3 seasons and it just didn't work for me because it's not his mentality. His mentality is to keep the family together and do what the leaders say. Not like no yes man ass nigga because he got major input in every decision. But he more like, I agree with the leader type of nigga to me. When he had to take the lead, he just ain't got that speaking capability. I'm not talking about Norman Reedus. I'm talking about Daryl Dixon, the character. Norman Reedus is a bad motherfucker, and I loved him even from Blade, even though he a traitor in Blade. But Norman Reedus been there from season 1 to the last season. Mr. Lil Ass Kicker. He gave Judith that name. And the Michonne came around season 3. Badass warrior queen type bitch wielding a machete, but if she gotta get the switch and the Dracos and the automatics, she can use them too. To me, she was the naturaliest baddest bitch. I got Carol a step over her because Carol saved the group way more than Michonne ever could have thought about. But Carol is a staple day 1 original. Season 1 to season 11. Never took a break, never had another show, never did a movie, just that. Her and Daryl are those characters where Rick, Michonne, Maggie, all of them came and went at certain points, which is not a negative. When you're doing this show 6, 7, 8, 9 years, and these not Americans, they from London and shit. They gotta cross the pond and go to hot ass Atlanta for 6 months a year. It wears on them, but they gave us so much iconic moments. They was like, damn, man, it's the biggest shit we done in all of our careers. Because all them are minor characters in movies, or when I do a review about a movie, if they was in it, I would only mention them because of Walking Dead reasons. But they never was leads in any movie you might have ever seen any of these characters in. They was background characters, the kind of characters when I say 1, 2, 3, 4 characters, then I say it's some more people in the movie, but they them type of people, the more people in the movie. But from this to me made them A-list, forever known star. Now maybe not be A-list Hollywood because they from a different country, but A-list far as you damn sure know who they are when you hear their name and you know where they come from. When you think of Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I'm sorry I didn't say his real name, but I think it's like Alfonso or something. When you hear his name, you know, oh, that's Carlton from Fresh Prince. They got that kind of name recognition. I don't want to ramble and gamble and scramble just to say things, but this franchise is number 1, my favorite franchise in any TV show history. And I said Breaking Bad, Wire, Fresh Prince, Martin. You know what I'm saying? We can get into some... It's probably 1,000 other TV series that I ain't naming. Probably when I have to watch this, rewatch it, I'm like, why into that TV show? I can't think of them at this moment, but to me, this is number 1. Now that was basically all the pros. We finna get to a little cons, cause ain't nothing perfect in this world except for your higher power, Jesus, Allah, Buddha, whoever you pray to, they perfect. But in our human society, nothing perfect. So here comes some negatives. The damn franchise went on too long, in my opinion. Pause. I'm sorry about that. Gotta get my bearings. Yeah, the damn franchise went on too long. In my opinion, I don't care how that sound. The first 6 seasons classics. If we was doing rating systems, they'd all be 10s. I don't care what you have a negative about this, or this was too long, or the storyline went this. No, the first 6 seasons are all 10s to me, if we was doing a rating system. Season 7 is where it start falling apart, because our guys looked like complete bitches in this season. Negan was too overpowered, and I just felt like everything we worked up, it wasn't just 6 seasons. This was like 8 years of watching this show. Season 7 was probably like 2016, 2017. So if you've been watching this since 2010, you've been watching us go through hell and high water, but always get the top at the end. They was smoking Survivor's Pack in season 7. Like, Michonne looked like a pussy. Rick, Daryl, Carol, Father Gabriel, Eugene, we lost Glenn and Abraham. It just, for me personally, I never felt the same after season 7. It'd be like, I ain't finna listen to something dramatic. It wouldn't be like that. But it was just like, something was missing after that. But we carried on and we got through to the Whispers, which was, I think, season 9. And I just felt like they wanted to touch everything that the comics touch. And once they ran through all the comics storylines, they even felt like we don't know what else we can do. But it's so many spinoffs that this ain't an end. We got Carol, we got Daryl going to Europe or something, or France. We got Maggie and Negan going to New York, and that's strictly because they high-ranking characters and AMC see money. They'll never let this franchise die. Even though we got Fear out there, it's just like, it lasted too long. I ain't finna overhype it. The season lasted too long. What makes Wire and Breaking Bad and those top shows so great, if you ain't MASH or Law and Order, you don't supposed to do more than 10. That's what fucked up Lost, even though I'm not a Lost fan. Imagine Walter White, instead of dying at his chemist lab, he somehow get a doctor to survive the wounds, dodge the cops, and move somewhere else. Then we got 4 more seasons of that. And then he died of cancer or whatever happens. It'd have been like, no. We had a perfect setup for this to end. I think after the Negan War, they killed Negan and we having a new world. That means Carl never died. Don't do none of that goofy shit. We ended like that, and then the comics have a 20-year later with Judith and Carl still alive, grown with kids, Walker's not even around no more. I thought that'd have been a better end than what we got, because I just felt like we done too much. And that's the only thing I can say negative about the season. If it ended around season 6, 7, or 8, it'd have been way more highly esteemed. But now it ended where people was like, including me, like, I'm glad this shit over. I can't dedicate another year, nothing October for these guys, and then February when the premiere come back, it got too clogged down with politics. People suing AMC, Darabont suing, Gimple suing, the money, the AMC see a franchise. They got all the characters locked up 3 or more, 4 more years, so it's spin-off century. And this is not like Better Call Saul, where that's just as good as Breaking Bad, or even Jesse El Camino. Breaking Bad universe gets you to want to see it. Walking Dead gets you just like, can we end it? And I'm going to be honest. So that's the only thing I can say negative. But like I said, the actors, the producers, the makeup, they actually get Grammys and Oscars and shit for their makeup designs for TV shows and Emmys, daytime Emmys and shit. But the makeup department, the walker department, to teach the people, the extras how to be walkers, all that's never been a problem. them. The CGI always was kind of wonky, but the walkers make up for how they look. The actors, big love, big shout out to all of them. They've been a part of my life the last 12 years, and the show was great. Overall, for the franchise, I'm giving the franchise a 9 out of 10, simply because it lasted a little too long. This would have been the best franchise, hands down, if it ended by season 6 or 7, or either after the Negan War. But they had to touch everything. But anywhere it go, this is a great franchise. I'ma miss the original OG Walking Dead cast and showrun, even though we got Fear and all this other stuff. But this is it. The Walking Dead franchise has come to an end in my eyes and my head canon. The spinoff stuff ain't gonna have nothing that really goes deep into, we gotta take this back to the main canon, because the main canon over. But that's it, y'all. Zeezzy the King. Like and subscribe. And I'm out. Your favorite horror channel's horror channel.